Have you ever wondered if the entertainment industry, like movies, TV shows, and maybe magazines could ever crack into crypto? I mean, outside of NFTs, we really haven't seen the entertainment or arts, take advantage of crypto and actually build on crypto. Well, my name is Kyle. This is the CIA, where we look at the facts and cut through the hopium. And in honor of cutting through the hopium, this project I'm about to talk about is much closer to zero in likely value than it is 100. So keep that in mind when I go over it. But it's a phenomenal idea in the AI agent space. And I think that it's really important to look at, creative new ideas in the crypto space to either inspire us to create new things in crypto, or even for us to keep an eye out on things that are possible and might work in the future of crypto. So, what is this project? It's called Aigent Mason, spelled Aigent Mason, and it's a play on AI agents. And the idea behind it is that there's a story, it's almost like a comic book. Separated by different chapters. And every 15 minutes, you're allowed to vote for how the story is going to continue. And you get four options on how the story could continue. And then users, holders of the Mason token, they vote on which direction they'd like the story to go. So it's a pretty cool concept. You have about 15 minutes to vote. And this one is based on this guy Mason, who is CIA operative, and he, gets dropped and lost behind enemy lines. And the story is like, hey, how is he gonna, escape and save the world? So it's a pretty cool storyline, and it's kind of geared towards men and males, kind of the hero's journey, which is a pretty good pick for a space that's primarily dominated with men, at least for now. It's a really interesting concept to allow interaction with a story like this. And in the first, I think there's 12 chapters in the first book. You can think of a book as like a magazine here, a different issue of a magazine. And in these 12 chapters, I'd say I think the first nine got various voters voting for different paths of the comic here. We'll call it a comic. And after that, it kind of dropped off. And we don't know if the story wasn't engaging enough to keep people around, or if 15 minutes was a little too long to keep people's attention, or maybe the audience just wasn't big enough and people had some other things to do. But I really enjoyed looking at this concept and thinking about, how this could be applied across the entertainment industry. Also, I wanted to add that, one of the things that there's not a lot of information about it, but one of the things that this project kind of infers that they're doing is that on the back end, once a new route is selected and the 15 minutes have passed, that there's actually an AI agent that writes the next section of the story or next chapter of the story. And I wonder if it also generates the images as well. You can see the images of the different chapters here, and they got text below them that is, we think is generated by the AI agent. They do mention in a tweet that in the future that the servers will be decentralized, so that this thing will be a little more crypto or blockchain themed. But regardless, I think it's a really interesting creative application on the AI agent, kind of providing some entertainment value. And you can imagine, applying this to different forms of entertainment. Maybe it's maybe you have AI gets good enough that you can create whole scenes with video, and you could create different new episodes of a TV show, kind of back to back, or at least fairly quickly with an AI agent like this. Now, I think it definitely hinges on it still hinges on the creativity of the creator, I would guess that the direction that the story goes, these little prompts that are written below the chapters that most of them are kind of questions or prompts and what Agent Mason's going to do in the future. I imagine those are written by the creator of the token. I could be wrong, but you kind of have to put some sort of guardrails on this thing, or else it'd probably fly off the rails. Plenty of examples of AI just kind of going in its own direction. Now let's take a look at the chart and some of the other claims of the project. One of the claims is that this story will go on forever. Book two is what they're calling the next issue or episode, and it's supposed to drop at some point, but we don't know when it's going to drop. It would have been good if they kind of left us a timeline. So I would assume that there is some creative control, by the creator here. So that is one indication. I did follow the Twitter account and turned on notifications just so I could keep up to date what's going on with this project. Sorry, I had a little technical difficulty there. But anyway, also let's look at the chart. And if we look at the chart, you can see this project is in the tank. It did really well for a little while, and then pretty much has been just going to zero since. Market cap's around 20,000. And I don't have much hope that this project will continue, but I do hope it does continue. And I left a comment on the creator's Twitter or X just to encourage him to continue producing it. I threw $100 in this project just as a vote for like, hey, this is a cool project. I think you guys should continue it. I expect that money to evaporate into thin air. And you would probably say like, hey, Kyle, why'd you do that? Someone else is just going to sell the token and they're going to take your profits. And hey, you're right, but I did want to, make that vote with my money. And but you could also make a vote by following them on X or replying to their tweets too. I think that's also a great way to show them support if you think it is a cool idea, like I do. Now let's look at the audit and see, kind of how the blockchain or how their contract looks. And if we look at the audit, it looks like most of the things are, look good. We've got green circles, which is good. And also the LP has been locked and burned. They did report that they burned the LP on their Twitter, and that is confirmed by the audit. So that's good. Token is down 62%. That is not great if you're looking for financial returns. So do not recommend putting any money into this thing. Don't be like me, be smarter with your capital. So with new ideas like this, I think it's fun to kind of ask some questions like, how could we improve this idea and make it better and more engaging for the audience, and also maybe some better tokenomics too, not only for the audience but also for the creator. And I kind of lean back on like Wolf Games, and Wolf Games, if you're familiar with it, was an NFT project. It's a game where you have sheep and then you have wool is kind of the trading token. It's not really listed anywhere, but it's a really fun game. It looks like it's still going on to this day, and they just gamified this whole like sheep and farmer type of metaverse or whatever you want to call it. But I think they could do something similar, some similar things. I think if they made burnable tokens, that would kind of raise the stakes for the voting, and also kind of pump up and burn some of these tokens. They do have on this one, for example, about 1 billion tokens in circulation. So they've got plenty of tokens to burn. Even if they did that, I don't think the price would change, and the market cap would change much on this. The other thing that they could do possibly is tie in some like NFTs to it. I don't know how that would work on Solana. This is on a Solana network, but you could make some NFTs that are purchasable and are recognized by the contract. And if you're able to, use those like one-time use NFTs where like it performed a certain action, like say it was a Batman comic, and you wanted to have the Joker appear automatically in the next chapter, you could burn a Joker NFT, and then Joker would have to show up in the next chapter. I mean, just ideas like that I think would be pretty cool. Something else that people could do with this idea is they could apply it to like other big brands. Like think like, Harry Potter or, Disney, like a Mickey Mouse thing, right? Or, whatever big brand is out there. You could also have some sort of interactive environment like this, like side stories, maybe Star Wars, even though, the Star Wars storylines aren't what they used to be. It would be a way to take your most, your biggest fans and engage them more into your storyline and into your brand, into your product. So I do think that this idea could last beyond this project. Something else that they could do is possibly shorten the time frames between the chapters. That could be the reason that they saw less engagement towards the end. And also, I would just recommend if you're guys are the creator and you're watching this, I'd recommend you just keep building because over time things gain adoption and you just get better at building your product. So I really like what they've done and would love to see it continue. I'm not a comic book guy, I got to be honest. I just appreciate the novelty of the idea and the creativity that they had in creating the project. So viewers tell me one of the favorite things you guys like to hear about are the risks of a project. And there's not a lot of risks in this project that aren't listed here. So we don't know who the creators are. We have no idea who the team is. We don't actually know hardly anything about the tokenomics other than there's a billion tokens available. We have no idea why engagement dropped off. Also a big concern. We have absolutely no idea when the next book's coming out, other than book two is promised. We have no tweets since then from the project creator. So you can see the list of red flags is just adding up. It's sky high at this point. Also, there's a 50% holder that can sell anytime and completely tank the project. We don't know who they are. There's also a large lack of transparency around any of the financials. So this is not an investment. This is just an idea that I thought was so creative that I really wanted to present it and put it out there and get a couple eyeballs on it and a couple ears on it. So it's not a recommendation whatsoever. And the only reason that I bought any, like I said, was just to throw them a little bit of support, even though it didn't even move the graph when I bought it. So if this video gave you any sort of value, I would appreciate a subscription. And I hope you guys are enjoying the bull run. Remember, take profits. And if you do take a profit and when you take a profit, make sure you comment in my videos and brag a little bit because most crypto investors lose money. So I want to encourage y'all to take some profits. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.